And we're live.
I'm going to name a couple things, and you guys are going to tell me the best and the worst of those things.
Okay.
And if you have your own ideas for best or worst things, let me know.
Go
Hey,
on.
So, best or worst. Meats.
Steak.
Filet mignon, although you guys said what, lamb is better than steak?
Lamb's underrated. Not, but
Lamb
it's
is
not-
better than beef, but a good steak is better than lamb chops.
Okay.
I've got a Kobe Wagyu New York strip in my freezer right now that I paid like $75 for. Very excited to eat that steak. It's small, it's tiny, but it's going to be delicious. It's going to melt in my mouth.
It's going to be great.
We used to have
What's-
filet mignon. It was expensive to me because it was like $35,
Uh-huh.
and our supplier dried up.
So, well, no wonder they're selling it for
Maybe that's the issue.
those
Yeah.
prices. What's the worst meat?
Shrimp.
Shrimp,
I'm
really. I
not
think
with
shrimp's
you on
pretty good.
shrimp. Yeah. Worst.
I just love
meat.
all meats. This is hard for me.
Yeah.
Goat is good. Fucking and let's what raccoon.
People say
like-
venison is bad. I've never.
Oh,
had
I
they're
it.
like
wrong.
it.
Venison's
Oh,
tasty.
probably like tilapia, like some bland fish that only has the flavor that you cook
You know
into
what
it.
I was gonna? Lobster is overrated. Now I like lobster. It's really halfway just a butter shovel, if I'm honest. But lobster itself doesn't bring a lot to the party. I like its consistency. Its texture is pretty good. But yeah, lobster's really it's not a king of meat.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
that great.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of shrimp. That's
Best meat, obviously beef. Worst, those fish that suck. What's the best and worst sex positions? To give you a second to think, my worst would be standing in the shower,
That is a good one.
and best would be doggy.
I want some sort of like on the side, like lying on our side in bed doggy, because that's
Oh, lazy fucking. That's a good one
Lazy.
too. I like that. Where you're on your side and you just have to work like half your body.
yes, it's very easy, but you're getting all of the benefits of doggy, and you can really get some leverage in, and you can grab stuff from that position, and you can choke or pull hair or whatever you want to do. Fish hook, you get the fish hook.
Can you imagine that if you were like, now be forewarned, I'm a rough lover, and then you get in there and you
Both
fish hook her,
hands.
and you oh, there's an elbow to the back of the.
Is it safe?
This isn't UFC.
Is it safe?
Yeah, what I'll call a big spoon, I think Kyle is describing, is really good. A variation on that where you're kind of like an X is also really good. But I was gonna pick on bottom. I know it's a bit of classic, just cowgirl, but you know, the view is one to be appreciated. I like watching the bouncy boobs in the bottom show as well. It's all good to me. It's pretty lazy. I think I like that perhaps.
Totally.
Yeah, and I guess one of the things that I find really erotic is her enthusiasm. So when she's on top, that's kind of like assured. Whereas, you know, a lot of other positions, like if she's just the receiver, that doesn't ooze enthusiasm to me.
And what would the worst one be?
Standing in the shower is hard to beat. Standing in the pool is the same damn thing.
There's a 3-second period between starting standing shower sex and when you think, how much longer do I have to do this before we can go somewhere comfortable? Like immediately. You know, it's not fun for more than a minute at most.
Yeah, I don't
You
want
feel
to
like you're gonna slip. You're stressed out.
This is the lovely
I don't have
woman
a- I
who
don't have a
just brought
pad.
me my second coffee and didn't beat me once that I'm going to talk. A lot of it has to do with lube on entry. You know, if she's 3/4 of the way there in bed, you can just kind of, I don't know, smear it around or so and make it good. 3/4 of
on
the
it.
way there. Yeah, you never done that with the head. If that is the case in the pool, it doesn't get better from there.
Yeah, I've never had hot tub sex,
Mm.
but I
nearly
imagine
died having
that would be
hot tub sex.
a way to get terrible
I literally
diseases.
almost died having hot tub sex one time. I started talking to this girl online. She lived in like Nashville, and so like Gatlinburg, Tennessee was like 2.5 hours from me, and maybe 2.5 hours from her, something like that. Like it was kind of in the middle. And Gatlinburg, Tennessee, in case you don't know, is kind of a vacation spot. It's really pretty. It's in the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee. And I was like, yeah, let's just meet up this weekend, go to Gatlinburg or whatever. And we did. And I rented this cabin, and we'd been having a whole bunch of sex. You know, we just like met each other, and we're there to hook up, and we're spending the weekend together. And that night, I got the perfect trifecta to make me almost die. I want to say that she was on top. Whatever I was doing was strenuous. I think we tried a couple positions, but we ended up doing some sort of like doggy thing, but up to our like chests in the hot tub water. So we're being boiled at 103 degrees, and I've taken Viagra, and I've had a few drinks.
What a bad combination.
I'm going at it hard. All right, I'm really getting after it, and I realize that I'm getting like lightheaded and out of breath, and not out of breath and like you know your own cardio, even if you don't have good cardio, like you know, like it's sort of like a tachometer on a car. You can feel yourself getting to the red line, and you know where that is, and you can back off. You can go back down to 4,000 RPM or whatever. I seem to have gone from 2,000 RPMs to like 9,000 RPMs on a Yamaha R1 really quickly. I went from rum 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 to and I'm just like like literally I can't speak. I'm like, something's wrong. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. And I'm like, I gotta get out. And she's a nurse. And so like I stagger out of the hot tub, and it's like cold as fuck outside. We're like, it's an outdoors hot tub. And I'm like, something's wrong. Something I can't talk. I'm so out of breath. Literally, I feel like I would have had a stroke or a heart attack if I had like tried to push through it. I would have definitely gone unconscious. Like something about like, I think it was a blood pressure issue, but something
probably with the Viagra.
It was the Viagra, the alcohol, and the very hot tub combined with that much physical activity. Did
you fall over once you got out?
I was staggering. Like I didn't hit the floor, but I was like staggering, trying to find. I didn't leave. You know, when you get a hot tub, you immediately like dry completely off and like put your sandals on or whatever. No, I like stagger into the house naked, flailing, like getting toward like an ottoman so I can sit and dry.
The cold air wasn't like an instant cure. That's how I imagine it.
No, I felt like ill. Like I can't even explain the level of exhaustion.
Dude,
it wasn't
close. I had a similar thing with Jackie. I was a lifeguard, so I'm really fit, right? This is the lifeguard picture version of me. And Jackie came, and she used to bring me lunch at the lifeguard stand all the time. Just, you know, it was a nice supportive thing. And we go back. This hotel would let the lifeguards use like the shower and facilities, and we could get water and whatever. So they had a sauna, and one of us had the brilliant idea that we should just, you know, duck aside a little bit before the crowds build and have sex in the sauna. Whoa, that's hot. That is super hot. There's like a whole genre of porn.
It's like a sauna in here.
Dude, do they know it's that hot?
And it's like super dry. Like you touch the wood and it just like sucks the water out of you. It's super duper crazy dry. And I want to say like a couple minutes into it, 3 minutes into it, I think we're both thinking, nah, but neither of us is like, we should just stop and not finish. Like that just didn't seem to be an option on the menu. So powered through, and yeah, I guess felt good about it in the end.
Yeah, that was nearly died doing that. I remember it well.
I guess I didn't think about it. I really, really liked fucking off at work, especially like early in my career. Literally fucking at work is hard to beat. There were times when I would surf. Like the waves were so big and dangerous that they would like put a guard out there in the surfing crowd just in case shit went down. And I'm like, this is the closest to a professional surfer I will ever be. You know, I'm earning like $7, possibly $8.50 an hour doing this, and I just got a big charge out of it.
All right, I had something else I wanted to jump to, but I want to wait for Kyle to get back.
Top and bottom rated things? Did we do them all? I think I cleaned for a while. I don't know where that went.
We did meats and sex positions. I was gonna do candies and holes on a woman. I thought I'd go two very disparate angles on that one. So we'll start with candy then. Reese's is the #1 candy. That's not an opinion, it's a fact. And the worst candies are Good and Plenty.
Okay. The best candy is a Snickers. There's a reason it's been around so long. And the worst candy, wow, Good and Plenty is good.
Yeah, those are so terrible.
Yeah.
Even like that's the only thing that was stocked in stores in 1930. You
Yeah,
know, like,
it's like, are these Mike and Ike's? Oh no, they're not the Mike and Ike's. Oh, they're Mike and Ike imposters. These are the worst
these are like
candies.
prank Mike and Ike's, like that you would give to someone you didn't like.
Worst candy might be worse than Good and Plenty's. What is the name of it? Hold on, I'm gonna come up with it.
Oh, bottle caps.
It
Those are
is Bamboozled jelly beans. Are you familiar with these?
No, I have to look those.
Okay, so Bamboozled jelly beans, it's kind of a game. You spin it and you choose a color. And let's say it's white. It's either going to be vanilla or sour milk. It could be green, right? This might be lime. It might be lawn clippings. Could be anyone's guess. Clippings. There's barf. There are some awful bamboozled flavors. And if you come over, my son will really want to play it with you.
It's like I never ate them, but I remember when these were big, those Harry Potter jelly beans, where like they tasted like weird shit, like grass or stuff. And I never understood my friends eating them. Like I was never into Harry Potter, so that might be why. But they'd be like, "Oh, I got the look at like the fucking reference sheet. Like I got the one that tastes like my dad's ass." And it's like, oh, this is terrible. And I'm like, why are you guys eating that? They sell like Jelly Belly makes good jelly beans. Well, jelly beans on their own are really not. That's what I dislike most about Reagan. If he was gonna have candy on his desk, you're the president. Don't be a bitch. Don't get jelly beans. Put some Snickers in there. Put some little mini Milky Ways. Some little Twix. Little individual Reese's peanut butter. Oh, you know what?
I can remember the
about
flavors. I think it's interesting.
Okay.
Barf, buttered popcorn, chocolate pudding, juicy pear, moldy cheese. Stinky socks, toothpaste, berry blue, canned dog food, coconut, lawn clippings, peach, spoiled milk, tutti fruities, boogers, caramel corn, dead fish, lime, rotten egg, strawberry banana smoothie. So you look at it and you're like, I don't know what it's gonna be. Either caramel corn or dead fish. And
something about candy that makes me irrationally frustrated, like upset, is when, like, if people call it Reese's instead of Reese's, that's fine. You can call it Reese's and be an idiot. But when people go, I love Reese's Pieces, it's like, even if it's called Reese's, it doesn't change the word pieces. Like, it doesn't become Reese's Pieces. It'd be Reese's Pieces. But it makes more sense just be Reese's Pieces. Right? Like, that's why they had it said that way. Like,
I think I said Reese's Pieces as a child, though.
Yeah, I know, but I remember there was this.
If Taylor was my dad, he would have beaten me.
I remember I was like 7 in first grade. We'd all gotten our Halloween candy, and this girl was like, "Oh, who wants to trade their Reese's Pieces to me?" And like, that must have been the first time in my life I formulated the word "what a retard" in my head. Where I was like, "It's clearly Reese's," So.
Are you doing like best and worst of candy?
Yes, best and worst of candy, and then we're doing a slightly different one.
Yeah, my favorite candy, like I said last week, is the Reese's miniatures. That's my favorite candy, definitely. And the worst candy is probably candy corn. I really don't like
that's
candy
a good one.
corn. I really and there's like a whole bunch of things that are made of the same shit as candy corn, that waxy gummy stuff.
I love
like
candy corn.
Circus peanuts, those are terrible.
That's worse than candy corn. Circus penises are
the
circus
pink ones?
penises.
Circus penises.
Oh, and one thing that's definitely
I'd rather suck a carny's dick than eat it.
And he just put a Ferris wheel together, and he's been in the sweltering sun all day. I'll suck it down before I eat that circus peanut. But one of the most overrated candy, edible underwear. I don't know if you've ever partaken of the edible underwear. They're essentially fruit by the foot, but stale because they've been in a plastic package in a sex store for the last 16 years. And they don't come in a variety of flavors. There's just strawberry, and it's just a surefire way for her to get a yeast infection, for you to get sick to your stomach about a quarter of the way through the next sex act, and just everything gets sticky and they're not tasty. I don't get it. I don't understand the people who use flavored lubricants.
Yeah,
or
I tried that. Never edible underwear.
I can understand flavored condoms, honestly. If you're going to be, first of all, if you're sucking somebody's dick, but you still think a condom is required, you better be a prostitute. But second of all, like, if you are a prostitute, why not have a little strawberry into the mix, right? Like I can understand that. I get that.
Worst
You ever had a
candies?
blowjob with a? I'm gotta interject here now that I mentioned it. Have you ever had a blowjob with a condom?
I have not.
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah,
It's
condoms
the
are terrible.
worst. She was like, is it gonna get harder than this? And I'm like, let me close my eyes and concentrate real hard, and I think it will. Yes. And
Well,
that's
if I
literally-
could feel anything at all, like
I felt so insulted. Like I didn't feel embarrassed because I feel like if I'd been getting a normal blowjob and she'd said that, I would have been embarrassed. But because there's a condom on, I'm just like, yeah, give me a minute here. There's a fucking condom on, and I can't feel a goddamn
you're
thing.
giving me lip.
I
Giving me
literally,
guff.
I literally
Did-
had to like close my eyes and concentrate on something that was sexier than the naked prostitute sucking my dick.
Is it okay to suck on like spermicide? Like, I guess it's okay because it
The
goes in her other
spermicide's on
orifices.
the inside of the condom,
Oh, well, there's some sort of lube on the outside.
but that's lube.
I didn't really realize it. That seems clever. I don't know. I never really thought it through, I guess.
Yeah, and not all condoms are lubricated as well.
Yes, but I've never seen one unlubricated.
That's true.
I've seen them available.
I've
like
seen
at
them,
gas
but
stations.
I wouldn't. I've seen them, but I wouldn't purchase them. I always use the same kind of condom.
Well, that's
Mary
couple other
Jane
things,
is a
but I'm-
terrible
yeah.
candy. I'd have to get that
Mary-
out there. Mary
What
Jane.
the fuck is that?
They're
Never
like
even heard of that.
hard, not caramel things. You might write it. Black licorice is garbage. I don't know why they
Yeah.
make black licorice.
I like black licorice.
That was the first candy that made me vomit. Is I remember I went to a cousin's house and I was like maybe 5 or 6, and I went upstairs and I was fiending for something, hanging out with my cousin, my parents, and people were downstairs, and I was like, man, I want some candy or something. And she was like, I've got candy. I was like, what? Your parents let you just keep candy in your room? What? Can I live? You get candy? Like as a kid, that's just so dope. And then she brought out this dish of all black licorice, like, the Twizzlers peels. It was like those, except they were cut into segments and they were very hard. Clearly an
Yeah.
old candy, but like the not liking it that much aspect of it was paled in comparison to a child seeing candy that no one could tell him not to eat. And so I proceeded to eat almost this entire bowl of black licorice, not even liking it the whole way. And then like maybe 45 minutes later, when I'm going to go to leave, my parents are leaving, I was like standing up from playing whatever fucking board game or whatever we were playing with my cousin. And I just projectile vomited, just jet black chunks and liquid, just all over her light colored carpet. And I haven't had any licorice since.
I like licorice. I like licorice as like a sort of a middle ground between sweet and savory, and it's not too sweet. I don't know how many calories are in that shit, but I feel like very few. I feel like it's like eating almost I think it's
Sugar
probably a
rope.
healthy. It feels
It's-
like a healthy candy. It does. Like let me look
Wait,
up how much
which candy specifically are you talking about?
licorice.
Oh, so just any kind of licorice.
Do
Okay.
you think licorice is a healthy candy?
How many calories are in licorice?
Even if it was low calorie, that doesn't mean licorice is healthy.
I don't mean it's like fucking eating like spinach. I'm not gonna have me licorice.
There's nothing healthy about licorice. I'm convinced of it. It's probably rubber and sugar, like gum.
It seems to have a lot of calories.
Oh, so you weren't even right there.
No, it doesn't taste like it's got a lot of sugar in it, but apparently it does.
I like that Kyle made it this far in life thinking licorice was, pretty good for you.
I mean, it's better than eating a Snickers. It just feels like a Snickers is like nothing but sugar, right? I mean, there's
Oh,
peanuts
it's so
and-
good though. Like I'd rather
But
eat
wait,
the
no, no.
Snickers, be in the hole for
Okay.
twice as many calories, and enjoy the
Licorice
snack.
is straight up a sugar rope in my head, whereas Snickers has nutritious nougat in there.
Well, it has nutritious.
nutritious nougat.
Peanuts are notoriously
Oh.
low calorie.
Yeah, nougat was going to be part of the food chain, like
What
the
is
the
nougat?
pyramid.
Nougat's like whipped cream and sugar or something like that, or like egg whites and sugar or something.
It's
I don't
not
know.
a nut. I don't
You know
what
what makes
nougat
me
is
feel,
exactly.
What
It's
makes me feel
definitely not a
retarded
nut.
is when I've read that fact where they're like, "Do you know that Twix, the inside of a Twix, is made up from crushed other Twix?" And I've always thought, like, but how? Like, but how?
There's a
Like, what-
reciprocal thing here. You can't call you. So a nougat is a candy made from sugar, honey, nuts, and egg white. honey, nuts,
it's
and
great.
egg white are all health foods.
Mhm.
And
They
sugar.
used to. The Egyptians used to eat honey as a way to sweeten their tea.
Okay.
We do that too.
I know. I'm just saying some things never change.
You can also treat wounds with honey. Did you know that?
Not effectively, but you can.
Very effective. No, very effectively. It's antibacterial.
Actually, yeah,
Is it really?
it's on I forget what the subreddit is called, but there are people who talk about fixing pimples, and honey is one of the things they do to their faces.
Yep.
That's interesting.
It's antibacterial. It's fill your wound up with honey.